Hey guys, welcome back to another episode here on Overdrive Reviews. Today we are checking out this small subcompact luxury sport ute, the 2025 Buick Encore GX. That is the whole name of the vehicle. It's not called just the Encore. GX is not a trim level. No, the car's name is the Encore GX, and it's kind of weird because then under that there are 3 different trims. All of those trims that are available though can be had for under $33,000. What's really great about the Buick brand is that they've rebranded entirely away from those huge, big, couch-like boats that your grandmother, your grandfather used to drive. They now are focused on their SUVs, and it keeps that hushed cabin atmosphere that Buick is known for. So the Encore GX is really for folks who don't want to spend a lot of money, but still want some versatility and a touch of luxury. This really walks the line between mainstream and luxury. It's not quite Audi, BMW, Mercedes-Benz, and it's a little bit better than Honda, Toyota, Mazda. It's right in the middle. Now I mentioned this is a 2025 brand new vehicle, and it came over from 2024 largely unchanged because in 2024 there was a huge redo. Today I'll give you a full review of this Buick Encore GX. This is the mid-level trim. I'll give you a full review of the outside, a full look on the inside, take it out on the road as well, and give you my thoughts. If you are new to the channel here, thank you so much for finding us. Please subscribe to the channel below and follow us over on TikTok right here. Tons of fun content. And of course over on Instagram as well at Overdrive Reviews. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you. Thank you so much for staying with us and always supporting the channel. Before we get going though, a huge shout out to my folks at Budget Harrisburg and Kramer's in Middletown, Pennsylvania. They have once again lent me this car for the day. They have amazing vehicles for sale, for rent, and for short-term rentals, meaning you can basically lease, in quotes, a car for 4, 5, 6 months without that massive contract. So look them up at the link below, and there's even more in the description below of this video. All right, let's go aesthetics and talk the outside of this Encore GX first. Let's go. All right, starting out front here, for my folks who are Buick fans, what do we think of this new emblem? I love it. I think it's modern. It brings the car into the 21st century. But here you'll see right here, this is the trim. This is the Sport Touring model, and you can also tell because of these blacked out rims that it has. The Sport Touring is the mid-level on 3 trims that are available for the Encore GX. It starts with a $27,000 sticker price for the preferred trim that comes with kind of like silver wheels. Then this Sport Touring is a little bit more expensive at $28,500, and then the Avenir is the top of the line. Avenir is that really nice name that Buick has been giving all of their top level SUVs. The Avenir trim for the Encore GX starts around $32,700, so just under $33,000 for all of these trims. Now with other packages and maybe taxes or something like that, maybe you're over 33. Another unique thing that Buick is doing to customize these different trim levels of the Encore GX, every single one has a different grille. This grille is unique to the Sport Touring. That is the only one you'll get this kind of mesh, piano black trim on, or piano black grille on. But you've got your daytime running lights here, and of course your headlamps here. I love this right here. I mean, very kind of like cat eye and just kind of cinched off to the side of the vehicle there. They look incredible at night, and obviously they're on right now. I don't love the way this looks as much as their Envista looks. I think the Envista with kind of that fast back and very sporty rear end. I love the way the Envista looks more than this, but this is not a bad looking vehicle, again, for $30,000 or so. Another differentiation that you can notice is that the preferred trim and this trim, the Sport Touring, the ST, they both have black trim around the wheel wells, down at the bottom here on the rocker panels, and the whole way around the car. The Avenir has body color trim. It's a small SUV. It is a subcompact SUV. It is not one that is going to have tons of room on the inside, but it's still sporty looking enough. I love the blacked out rims. This is definitely a trend, a fad right now in the car world. I love a blacked out rim. To me, it kind of makes the car absolutely look more sporty, and that is obviously the goal here. This car is sitting on 18-inch rims. These are hand-cooked 225, 55 R18s, and of course you've got all-wheel disc brakes all the way around for you there. That brand new logo staring at us right in the center of that. You can get 19-inch rims on the higher models. The Avenir comes standard with them. I mean, it also kind of has like a little nose. Look at this. Kind of pointy right there, kind of comes out just like that. Definitely more sporty and more aesthetically pleasing than the Rendezvous or the Rainier, which was basically a rebadged Chevy Trailblazer back in the day. This competes with, you know, size-wise, just on size-wise, this competes with the BMW X1, the Mercedes GLA, the Honda, you know, HR-V, the Toyota Corolla Cross. But as far as competing on like an actual interior all-around level, I don't really know. Again, it kind of walks that middle line between the mainstream Hondas, Toyotas, and Mazdas and those higher-end German luxury rivals. What's also different is that if you opt up to the Avenir trim, your rear tail lamps will have a clear lens. They will be cleared out and look a little bit different than these ones right here. They look kind of clunky and big. I mean, they're a little too large for my liking. I also find that the big emblem in the center, I don't know if I need the word Buick right here. I kind of like the emblem to speak for itself, but you can see over here, this is not the trim. This is part of the whole name. It's like saying Honda Accord Cross Tour or, you know, the Taurus X or something like that. The Encore GX is the name of the car, and the trim is, you know, this one is the ST. Now, this one does have all-wheel drive. Front-wheel drive is standard. I'll break down all of that when we get to the engine up front. Down here, you do have a lot of plastic. It is glossy black plastic, so it looks really nice, but I could see this getting dented up if you know, were happening to reverse into something or someone taps you in the back, or, you know, rocks kick up on the road. It doesn't feel all that high quality. Right down here is where the camera is hidden, right here, so it's kind of low. The camera is a nice, decent quality. Nothing much about the back is all that exciting. The front is where I think all the style really comes together. You've got a roof rack on this one as well. So yeah, 3 different trims, all under 33,000 bucks. Let's hop into the engine here and break down the different engines that are available. Okay, so the engine is open and here we go. Every single engine is a 3-cylinder Ecotec engine. This one right here is the 1.3 liter engine. There is also a 1.2 liter engine. Both are turbocharged. If you want front-wheel drive, you have some choices to make. The front-wheel drive preferred trim comes available with either engine, the 1.2 or the 1.3. If you get the front-wheel drive Sport Touring or the Avenir trim, they only come with the larger engine, the 1.3 liter engine. Now, all-wheel drive is also an option, as that is what this car has, and it is like a $1,600 to a $2,000 upgrade depending on what trim you are getting. It's not kind of the same across the 3-car lineup. But all-wheel drive, if that is what you get, that only comes with the larger 1.3 liter engine. The 1.3 liter pumps out 155 horsepower. The 1.2 liter pumps out 137 horsepower. Now, let's break down the transmission part of this as well. Front-wheel drive only comes with a CVT, the continuously variable transmission. The all-wheel drive comes available with a 9-speed automatic transmission. So you've got some options there as well. And as you would guess, fuel economy also kind of varies depending on front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, but they are not all that far apart. Like some vehicles, 10 miles a gallon is what you lose with all-wheel drive, but not so with the Encore GX. As far as MPGs, anywhere from 26 to 31 miles per gallon highway. So the larger engine with front-wheel drive, 31 miles per gallon highway. For all-wheel drive, it only drops 1 mile per gallon to 29 highway. So it's not all that different. All-wheel drive and front-wheel drive just 1 gallon apart. Despite the turbo though, even the larger engine still takes more than 8 seconds from 0 to 60. So there is some initial pep and get up and go. It is a quiet sort of ride. I said it's a hushed cabin, but it's not all that sporty. The Sport Touring, please do not let that fool you. It is not a fast car. Here at the rear, it's kind of a low reach to open up this manual trunk. There is a power liftgate available on certain trims. So back here behind the second row, 24 cubic feet of space, and at the pull of a few levers here, which you can do from the actual doors if you want, with those second row seats down, that increases the capacity, the cargo capacity, to 50 cubic feet of space. So more than doubles what's behind the second row. So that's quite a bit of room for a small subcompact SUV. As you can see, these don't go totally flat. It is more like a 60-40 split, if I'm going to be honest with you. So down here underneath the floor, there is a spare tire. pull this out for you. It is not a full spare tire, it is a temporary spare tire. You obviously have your little gear there to change a flat, but there's not a lot of room down here to really store anything else. Maybe some other cloths or a bottle of, you know, tire shine or something can fit down here, but there's not a lot of room underneath that that floor piece that I just removed. There is a little alcove over here for something small. There is a little tether. You also have a small cubby hole over here on this side for the world's smallest items, and there are tracks right here for a privacy cover. This car actually has one. It is currently taken out, so I can show you all this in the back without being obstructed, but there are tethers over here as well for you. Not a ton of room, but more than enough room, I think, for the size of this vehicle. Rather impressive. Again, no power liftgate on this one. You do have to, unfortunately, do it all yourself. Let's go ahead and hop inside the Encore GX. Starting with the door here, it is an all black finish, and I'm gonna be honest, it looks like every other GM product you have ever seen. I do enjoy that the window switches here are slanted toward the arm of the driver, obviously their left arm. Only automatic up and down on the driver's window, everything else you do have to hold. The materials are okay, but I mean, this car has what, 100 miles on it, and it already has some scuffs up here just from, you know, simple elbows being rested on here. So not the highest quality of materials on the door. So the seats are quite comfortable. These are not real leather seats. The Avenir trim adds a 10-way power driver seat with leather all the way around. These are nice seats though. They're just not terribly well bolstered or well padded. You do have the ST logo stitched into the headrests of the front two seats, and you can see how thin these are right here. And for a car that claims to be sporty, that claims to be, you know, a sport touring, you would think these seats would be a little bit more, you know, conforming to the body and a little bit more supportive. They're kind of chintzy. You do have manual adjustments here, and manual obviously for the passenger side as well. Let's hop inside here as a plane takes off over my head and makes it crazy noisy. Here's the cockpit. It's a nice little cockpit. Let's close the door for a door check. Yeah, nice. It's okay. It could be a little bit more solid of a thunk in my opinion. But sitting here in the cockpit, it is a nice view. I love this kind of flat bottom steering wheel that we have going on here. Of course, that new Buick logo is on full display here in the Encore GX. And you might notice this massive screen. Whenever it's not on, like let's turn this actually off entirely. There you go. When it's not on, it looks like it's one cohesive, continuous screen. It is not. There's an 8-inch gauge right here on every single Encore, and there's an 11-inch screen right here on every single Encore. So you do not have, you know, continuous screen. You can kind of see there. Yeah, there's the outline of the screen. Let's turn the car on. It is a push-button start. There we go. All right, so here we go. Let's turn this down here. Everything is kind of down in the center here. There's not many buttons to go over. It's just your climate control right here. It's not automatic climate control. You do have to manually adjust things, which again, I do not mind. I don't mind actual buttons. Up at the steering wheel here where I started before, flat bottom steering wheel and a nice pass through for your fingers. I love that. You guys know I love that, to put your hand in it. It just rests much easier that way. You do have your different controls over here on the left side for cruise control, front crash mitigation system, and things like that. You do have your other options then over here for the center screen for controlling your music, your phone, your you know, Bluetooth, things of that nature. So here is your center gauge cluster. But unlike most cars, you actually can't change anything in this gauge display from the steering wheel. You can only do like one or two things when it's in a certain setting. To get things to show up in this gauge display, like your average MPG, you have to do it over here, like your trip information. So whenever you go to this little button right here, you can tap this. It's a very nice touch screen. It's very responsive, by the way. You can hit trip information, and then you can go to show in cluster or take away from cluster. And now it's over in your cluster, okay? So it doesn't really just show up on its own over here, and you really can't cycle through. You have to add things as you want them. Let's go back to the fuel economy. Say you want to see that and show that in the cluster. All right, now it's over in the cluster. So you really have to kind of go between both screens, which I don't love. It's kind of a cumbersome process for something that should be super, super easy. Here's your gauges as well. You've got your coolant temperature, your battery voltage, and your maintenance schedule for your brake pad life and your tire pressure. These things you can move over there as well, but who the hell wants that in their gauge display the full time? You, of course, do have your regular fuel gauge here and your engine temperature, your total mileage and that kind of thing. Always are there. But what you want to display, you got to choose it from this screen and push it over here. The screen is responsive, it's clear, I love it. And whenever you reverse as well, look how clear that is. It's bright out there today, but whenever you turn the steering wheel, it also goes with you and shows the lines accordingly, which is a nice touch for again, not a luxury SUV. So a nice clear backup camera for you there. Let's go down to that gear shifter I was just using. It is really, really nice. I wish the leather was a little bit, nicer. It's obviously not real leather, but the attempt at leather, I wish the attempt at leather was nicer. But it overall looks decent. These cup holders are very basic. There are no holder clips on the sides to hold in any kind of glass or cup that is smaller than this hole, so good luck there. Be careful of that. But in front of the gear shifter there, you do have more buttons for you. You've got your automatic on and off, your automatic start stop, all-wheel drive setting. You've got your lane keep assist and your traction control for you right there as well. And down in this little cubby, not all that deep. You can put a phone or anything like that there. You have a USB-C and a USB, normal USB right here, and of course you've got your normal outlet for you there as well. Remember when we used to call this a cigarette lighter? Yeah, back in the day. No more of the cigarette lighter. It's just a 12-volt outlet. Up at the top here, you do have OnStar, which GM is still putting in all their vehicles. I don't know why, because truly, I think OnStar is like one of those things that's like, it maybe was useful back in 05 or 06. I don't know why OnStar is still a thing. I don't know anyone who actually uses it. So if you do, prove me wrong. Tell me in the comments below. Let me know what you use OnStar for. I have no clue why you would use it. Over here, you do have a nice lit up vanity, which is quite nice. It's a big mirror for the size of the vehicle, and a nice light up there for you too. You've got another one over here. This one also has lights, and they both do also pop out and then extend to block the sun, which is always a biggie for me because I'm a taller guy. Sun always seems to get in my face. The dash, by the way, nice materials. They look really nice. They definitely could get marked up easily if you're not careful. You got some carbon fiber attempt right here for you as well, and a nice dash with some stitching here along the entirety of the front. And it also, look at this right here, kind of flows nicely into the door. There's no premium sound system available that I'm aware of. And here behind the cup holders, by the way, you do have another little reservoir right here. And then for the actual armrest, this kind of opens up. You can keep your sunglasses in there, and this piece is removable. And there's another little cavern down there for you as well. Not all that deep and not all that wide, but it is better than nothing. There is no outlet or anything inside there. It's kind of just a storage space. And this does not move forward or back or rise or anything like that. Anyway, let's hop in the back seat and show you that, and then we'll get this thing out on the road. Let's go. In the rear of the Encore GX, rather small seats in the back here. It's not a place that tall people are going to want to be all that much. You do have some decent leg room whenever the seats are up further, but it is a little cramped. Again, it is a subcompact SUV, and there's not a ton of room back here. You do have some chargers down here as well, some charging outlets, another USB, another USB-C. Not sure what this small little hole is for. It literally could hold, like, I don't know, a Tamagotchi from back in the day. It's like the smallest hole in the entire world. Not sure why that is there. But the seats look nice again. Not all that comfortable. After a long ride, I would imagine it probably gets kind of stiff, but you do have matte flaps on the back here of both seats, which is a nice touch. No vents back here to control. Yeah, you can really kind of notice the cost cutting whenever you sit back here. The windows go all the way down, which is another nice touch. I kind of hate whenever the windows stop right here and then you've got like, what, 3 inches of wind to deal with. Not fun. You don't even have any cup holders back here in the center. You only have cup holders there on the door and then here in the door as well, which is, I guess, better than nothing, but I wish there were more cup holders available. All right, let's get this thing out on the road and move all my bags out of the way and see how she does. I mean, again, hushed cabin, a Buick ride. Does it hold up to that moniker? Let's figure it out. All right, out behind the wheel of the 2025 Encore GX, I hate saying GX. It is smooth, it is controlled, and it handles well. Not a quick car, as I've said before, but it is a confident ride. I mean, it's a small SUV, and the turbo really kind of gets it up and moving quickly and then kind of peters out after that. But it is a nicely controlled, quiet car. I'm going about 45, 50 right now. Engine's a little noisy. You can hear the turbo whenever I hit the accelerator, but there really is not a lot of noise at all whenever you're out driving. And again, that hushed cabin, that kind of like, you know, removal from the outside world that Buick is known for in their sedans, is really kind of transferred over so far here in the interior. It is a nice balance between those two worlds of, you know, economy and all-out luxury. It's premium. I think premium is probably a good word for it. Some folks may disagree, but this big screen is really, really nice. I'm having some trouble getting the right angle and the right height with the seat so that I could still see the screens easily. They feel tilted forward to me, and I'm 6'2", so I keep trying to, like, you know, adjust the camera, adjust my seat to get the position right. So I'm having some issues with that, and I think it's just because it's a smaller car in general. But, you know, I hear no wind right now, going 50 miles an hour. There's no wind noise. You hear nothing. Yeah, you hear, and actually the Amtrak train's coming by. Let's see if we can hear the train. I'm not sure you can hear that. I can hear it. I know it's there, but it wasn't super loud at all. So a train going by at, what, 70 miles an hour wasn't bad. I mean, I love the ride height of it. It's a compact SUV, but it definitely gives you the feeling of a higher riding vehicle, which to me is a great place to be, because it obviously increases your visibility and things like that. But let's talk about fit and finish again. The steering wheel, love it. A luxury feeling for sure, wrapped in leather. It's a flat bottom steering wheel and it looks sporty. The new Tri-Shield Buick logo is a nice touch. I really, really do enjoy it. All right, right there, that was the front crash mitigation. I intentionally gunned it to see how the gas felt, and I was getting too close to the car in front of me. So that system works rather well. It actually beeps down in the dash and reflects up onto the windshield like head-up display, but all it does is beep red lights and, you know, make a sound at you. There is no head-up display as part of it, but it works similarly. Now, I wouldn't call this car exhilarating, exciting, or thrilling in any way. The initial pep is fine, but again, it kind of leaves you quickly as soon as you get up to higher speeds. So let's talk warranty. If you buy one of these, what you can expect. The limited warranty is 3 years, 36,000 miles, while the powertrain warranty is 5 years, 60,000 miles. Now, there is complimentary maintenance for your first visit only. This does also have blind spot monitoring on it for whenever you are changing you know, lanes. Speaking of changing lanes, I still hate these GM stocks. They just feel cheap and chintzy and they look weird, but just cruising here about 55 miles an hour, even over some imperfection, you can feel some of them a little bit because it is a smaller vehicle, but the 18-inch wheels are quiet so far. Gonna go up a hill now and punch it and see what we do. Are you ready for this? Here we go. Oh, car had to think there for a second. It had to think about that downshifting. And remember, the all-wheel drive system that I have has the 9-speed automatic transmission. So it definitely sat there for a second, went, oh my God, he's flooring it, what do we do? And then, you know, the turbo and the car kicked in, the power kicked in. Definitely more of a delay than I would like. On a flat surface, like right now, I just did it again. On a flat surface, the power comes much faster, much quicker, but the downshifting, it is hesitant to downshift and get you moving up a hill if you have to floor it for some reason. Keep in mind, 3-cylinder engine. All right, let's get to a full stop and hit this from 0 up until 60 or so. All right, let's come to a total stop here, and we're just gonna gun it. There is no sport mode, so 3, 2, oh, that delay is still there. All right, we're at 40 and 60. yeah, definitely a slow jog to 60 miles an hour, and some hesitation off the line for sure. I do think once you're up and moving, the turbo does help it keep moving nicely if you're at 30 trying to merge onto the highway or something like that. But from an initial get up and go, a little bit lacking if you really have to get up and moving quickly. So I think this car is perfect for the city dweller, the person who needs some utility, some versatility with 50 cubic feet of space, some SUV space, and SUV capabilities, all-wheel drive. But this is not for someone who's going to go overlanding, mountain, crawling, anything like that. So that is today's review of this 2025 Buick Encore GX. Again, Encore GX is the full name. Don't get it wrong. Thank you so much for watching here on the channel. If you are new again, please subscribe to the channel below. And everyone, please like this video and comment below, and make sure you're following the channel as we put up more videos. All right, I'm out of here, and we will catch you on the next one.